Trey,
Yes, sir.
it's take two because people, for some reason, I did not capture the audio from our first take. So technically, this is just going to be a recorder fresh for Trey. And, we'll treat it like a pop quiz. So,
Of course, you're fresh. That.
what are we
Shut
talking
down
about
all that.
today, sir? We are talking about the Great Migration.
One of my favorite thoughts when it comes to black society.
What do you know about the Great Migration, sir?
Well, I know it's spread like mayonnaise on a sandwich, where you got the thick part starting in the south, and then it went all across the bread and
All
got a little
right.
thinner.
All
But
right.
then on the other end, it got thicker, like you put another slab on there,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the middle, it got real thin.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we at. We just
Yeah.
at that thin part of the middle, almost neglected, but still pretty good part of the sandwich.
Yep.
Yep.
So, early in late into slavery, early into freedom. Our last episode, our cowboys went to the West Coast to settle up there, but we were still in the South, so we
Yep.
needed to move too. We got racial violence going on. There's still Jim Crow laws. All the racial tension and everything is still going in the South strong. We need to get away from that. So what do? Around
We move.
1910, around the first World War,
Okay.
we started moving. And
Mm-hmm.
do you remember where we moved to?
I believe that was when we started filling out like the Chicago's and the New Yorks, a little more than the New Yorks, Ohio's.
Mm-hmm.
I think Minneapolis is kind of one of the people, Detroit, all those areas.
Yep.
That's when it started filling out with black people. When you think about Gary, Indiana, or
Gary,
Indiana
Indiana,
altogether.
Cleveland,
Uh,
Indiana, Detroit, Michigan, Chicago. Uh,
Wait, full circle funk moment on the song. What is that? Chocolate City.
what about it?
George Clinton mentions the black not overtaking, but when he's describing his chocolate cities, Gary was on there,
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta was on there, and just places like that. So yeah,
All
that's that full
places
circle
that we,
thing. Yeah,
all
yeah,
places that we settled. So from about
gaming on.
1910
Yup.
to 1940, we went and we started moving. We started going up through the Midwest. We started going to Chicago, Detroit, Gary, Indiana, Cleveland, uh, some in Oklahoma, all these little places in the
Mm-hmm.
Midwest. And we started filling out those cities. And
Oh yeah, yeah. That's where the Midwest too, huh?
mm-hmm, and we started filling out all these cities and whatnot.
So wait,
And
were we already in Texas because it was technically a slave state?
yes,
Okay.
so and
Or no,
I'll
it was Mexico.
uh
I got to remember about that. The whole I don't remember the Alamo,
mm-hmm,
but
yeah,
yeah, that time frame. I'm not sure about the years, but
yeah, and then you got to also remember that the people of Texas, they are very special because they got out of slavery way later than us. I'm talking like
right, right. Well,
years.
that's where Juneteenth comes from. Is
Yep.
in Galveston when the last slaves were free. That's Juneteenth.
Yes, sir.
So, uh, yeah, Texas is a different. I mean, everywhere is a different kind of black, and I hope people realize that at this point, as much as we've been traveling. But Texas black is different.
Yeah.
It's
Is
dope. It's dope. I love it. But
but
you can tell. You know, you can tell.
yeah, Texas black is there's fine lines in Texas black.
Fine lines.
Yeah, because it'll be you could either get uh one of our down south black folks or down south coon. So
Yeah.
It's they you either get one side of it or you get the other side of it. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ain't no in between.
yeah,
I ain't been there long enough to figure it out.
yeah,
I know some good folks down there, man.
I do too.
I love Texas.
Hmm.
I don't like the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys at
Me
all.
neither.
I don't like the Texas Longhorns at all.
Yeah.
I'm an OU fan. But shouts out to Texas. But anyways,
But yeah,
that's where we spent to.
yeah, we started moving. We was looking for educational purposes and more housing opportunities and things like that. There wasn't
Mm-hmm.
too many people to be mad about it up there.
Mm-hmm.
Psych, I lied. So, uh, it's 1920s ish around there. We start moving around and filling up these smaller areas and cities. White folks didn't like that.
Right.
And they don't like the changes that come with
So it
that.
took what 10 years from 1910 you said to right about 1921 from what I
19
remember. What I
mhm.
remember.
about
Don't
19
remember, but her.
about 1919.
Yep. Okay.
And then 1921, you got the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombings and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But you got the Rosewood bombings, there's bombings in Alabama and Mississippi and all this stuff. So there's a lot of violence came from us just merely wanting to exist in our own
And
spaces.
thrive.
And
Yep.
since so we move around and all that good stuff, we start getting these jobs, these industrial jobs and whatnot. uh what happens after that around 1940? So I forgot to say this, but there's two phases. So the first phase was 1910 to 19 around 1940, and that's our phase when we moved and kind of took over in the Midwest. Now, 1940s come along, World War II happens. Uh, we need people even further to the west because we need people to work in these factories to make these weapons for World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Us,
California.
we see a good opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
1940s come along, we get to moving.
And that was
That's phase two.
yep.
And where we go, we went. You said we went to California. We went to
Mm-hmm.
L.A. We went to San
Yep.
Francisco.
Compton.
Uh, we went to
Yep.
Oregon, Portland, and Seattle,
Yeah.
Washington.
Yep.
So we started filling out over there. Now, again, white folks didn't like that.
They never do.
They didn't like that. There was too many. There was too many of us in they neighborhoods, and
Mm-hmm.
taking up money from them.
Yeah.
So with moving there, we had the challenges, and it introduced a little thing called redlining. We know what redlining is, my brother.
Yeah, we learned about that on the first take. But run it back for me because I didn't know it.
They set red lines to where certain people can have housing. If you
Mm.
try and get housing over that line, it's automatic. You're automatically going to be denied. So essentially, that's what was going on. And I know sometimes it is like to the bottom line of housing. They hike the bottom line of housing up. So eventually, like people like us, you're not the top earners and stuff. So
Right. You go
yeah,
to this neighborhood.
yeah. So we got a little neighborhood over here for you.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more in
You
your
make
price
pretty good
range.
money. you do all right, but you still black, so
Right.
you
We
good. You
got we
gonna
got
go right.
little we got a little area for
Yeah,
y'all over here. It's
yeah,
still kind of
yeah.
nice, but you know, so that's why
Mm-hmm.
you get places like
Mm-hmm.
Compton and Inglewood and like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I could
the
see that.
yeah, but
That's
yeah,
crazy though. That really is crazy. But then when you think about it, like the trailer park kind of serves the same purpose in a way. Like
yes,
they low key redline the trailer parks, but a lot of times they still see it as a better than being in the hood. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
But they doing the same shit to them too.
Because essentially they this is what happens. They think because you own that trailer, which I mean, yes, it's owning your home. You own your home,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it's a trailer. Is you spent what 10 grand on it, 20 grand, as
Back
opposed
then, yeah.
to as opposed to 150,000, 250,000 house, or you got a mortgage. So
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yep.
but it's the semblance of owning something that makes them think that they are better than us.
I feel that. I feel that.
So,
Uh, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think people individually will think of it a certain kind of way,
mm-hmm.
but mainly, yeah, that was probably like the premise behind the system.
Right, and
Yeah. That's,
yeah, essentially it was to they didn't want to integrate with us, and so they figured
mm-hmm.
out another way to segregate us,
Yep.
which in the end, who cares? We don't want to be around
Nobody
them.
really, because I don't
Nobody.
even like being at home all the time anyway.
Right.
Like,
So,
I mean, a big house is nice, but a fishing house is better, if you ask me. And
mm-hmm.
so, like, it don't really matter where you. I mean, it matters where you at. You ain't got that risk of like being broke into and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But whatever, take the money. Shut up and take the money. Oh, I didn't get me no drink.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm,
So
well,
redlining, yeah, that's some crazy stuff. That's phase two.
yeah,
Then
that's
you got
phase two.
that's
So,
time the time of the Black Wall Street bombing. Also, the same time as the Harlem Renaissance.
yeah, and
All this stuff is going on for black people at such a high and such a low, and they only taught you about the Harlem Renaissance. They didn't tell you they was bombing niggas on the other side
right,
of the country,
right,
flooding
and
up people's towns and stuff like that.
right,
And you know
and
how much of your history has really been hidden
we'll
already.
because we done took our little vacation. We went from Louisiana, and now we done went all through the Midwest, and we done ended up in
Mm-hmm.
California. Next, where should we go? Since we're on the West Coast, we'll stay West Coast. I think we'll talk about Afropunk next week.
Okay. Okay.
That that sounds
Yeah.
like a good
I like the sound of Afro punk. That's what you said 60s, 70s?
yeah.
Yeah. Black people in 60s and 70s was a wild time if you
Yeah. Hey, the Booger Sugar
Oh
was running
man.
fire.
Cause man, that's still some of the same time. Like, think about like some of the best music you heard
Yeah, you
that
got
was
your
coming out around the same time Martin Luther King was marching.
right. Your Jimmys, that George was there.
George, James,
Jay, yep,
Al, Otis.
yep.
Well, Otis didn't make it that long. I don't think. I think he died pretty early on. But I mean, that stuff is crazy. I mean, I guess they
Yeah,
mentioned it like in that movie, the James Brown movie. That's like, they shot Dr. King, and everybody was sad. But like, I don't want every black person to think that like the same thing happened in the South is gonna happen to them.
right.
I mean, I don't ever want it to get to that point, and I don't think that it should. I mean, I'm all for like make sure you fighting for your shit, and we all need to like vote better and do better about that kind of shit because absolutely it could end up that way. But we that was regional.
Mm-hmm.
it was wrong everywhere across a nation because it was in the law that it could be that way for us. That's not what I'm saying, but it was so much more history that wasn't taught. How about I put it that way?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of and I got a bunch of topics that I'll jump onto, but there's a lot of little known uh incidents that happened, and I was just watching something about a slave house that in Louisiana, and they were talking about that the slaves just they still there. It's one yep. It's one they the kids be yeah. And I think their YouTube is called the City Boys, but they yeah, they done went in there is two black dudes. It's just me and you. They done went in there. They looking for ghosts.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And they Louisiana?
Oh yeah.
They from Louisiana?
Nah, I don't know where they from.
Oh, cause black folks in Louisiana don't play about that stuff.
Yeah, they was up over at the one of them
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
plantations. Doors opening. Like crazy man. Y'all playing with too much.
Let me just say, nope,
No sir.
nope, nope.
Not
I'm
at all.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I think my grandma's house on it, honestly, but I don't go looking for nothing.
Yeah. Don't
I don't go
go.
looking for
Yeah.
nothing.
I never go look for anything. So yeah, you ready to get out of here, brother?
I'm ready to get out of here, man.
Did you learn something new?
Every time,
That's
every
all
time,
good.
I learn something new.
All right. Well,
All right.
to everybody watching, like, share, subscribe,
Yeah,
comment.